Oh, there it is. Hi, guys. I hope everybody's having a great Saturday. The sun is shining for the first time this week. And not for long, apparently. We're in for another snowstorm this weekend. So we shall see. I know that all across the country they've been getting snow. So folks in Alberta got lambasted this week. Same with BC. BC actually got some terrible rainstorms. And I know that the Pacific, British Columbia and the Pacific Northwest, the part of the U.S., have been facing some serious flooding. Just a mess.
Same with Winnipeg.
And Winterpeg got flood. Wow.
Main Street is underwater.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
The water main broke.
Oh, a water main broke. Oh, jeez, Louise.
Yeah. No, but it covers most of Main Street.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Not very good. Crazy. So if you live in Winnipeg, stay away from corner of Main. And
Main Street.
Main Street. Yeah, just stay away from Main Street. Yeah. So today we're going to have a little bit of fun with some ornaments. We're going to be working on those that Festive Fun project. We're going to be painting some peppermint and a candy cane and a snowman, and just in general have a little bit of fun with the holidays. We do have some giveaways for you today. We've got a fabulous little kit for a little breadboard and some other little goodies courtesy of Decor and Dynasty Brush. So we have 3 of those to give away today. So all you have to do to get in on the giveaways is join us in the chat. Say hello, good morning. Tell us how your week is going, what projects you're working on for the holidays. We would love to hear from you. So once you're in the chat, we make a copy of everyone that has joined us and we pop that into the wheel. And at the end of today's live, 3 people are going to win a fun little kit and some goodies from Decor and Dynasty. And of course, some goodies from Renee and I as well. And before we get started, I want to say hello to Dee Stratton. Hi, Dee. Glad you're here. And Donna Baker. Hello, Donna. They only got, and it melted away. Okay, they only got an inch of snow and it melted. Good for you. Debbie Buckman Easton. Before she asks, and I know she will, tonight we are having a Canadian favorite, poutine. And we're going to have some of those jumbo hot dogs that my family loves. So we're having a pretty simple dinner tonight, but definitely going to be making some poutine. And Donna Pulse. Yep. Oh, apparently we have to watch for some Happy Mail from Donna and Rich. I'm going to do it with both eyes. You do it with one. And Suzanne Gagnon from Sudbury, Ontario. And who else is in here? Jackie Gibson. Good morning from Colorado. And Leanne Washatka. Hello, Leanne. Haven't seen you on here in a while. Nice to have you back. And Bonnie Duncan. Glad you're here. Oh, I have oodles of inspiration for you today. My artistic brain has been running at Mach 5 all week. So brace yourselves. That's all I can say. So if you guys are ready to get started on our Festive Fun project, so am I. We completely sold out of the ovals that we had this week. I mean, completely. They were gone in minutes, and we had quite a few. I do have about another 100 or so ordered, so we're going to, we'll have those in soon. But I wanted to show you something. I had a bunch of gingerbread that were just sitting there begging to be painted. So I made zombie cookies. I have no idea. It's not very festive, but I know I had so much fun doing these. These are zombie cookies. These are relatives of Bob, as you can tell by the white eyes. This is why we call them zombie cookies, because they've got white eyes. So I did these. I had way too much fun playing with these last night. And if you're looking for the project sheet on these, they're on my website in the free download section. It's a cute little project. It's just to paint these little guys. They are so fun to do. Just, if you like the kind of gruesome look, these ones are right up your alley. I had a blast doing these. And it's very tongue-in-cheek and, yes, no, they don't look like gingerbread cookies, but, they're so fun to do. So I'm going to rig up a little hanger on these because I'm going to put them on my Christmas tree just because. Yes, they are so green. I used a little bit of desert cactus and plantation pine and some margarita and some neon green to get this look. They are just such fun. And I'm going to show you how I did this little bit here. I got one of my favorite toys. This is drywall tape or drywall mesh tape. It's sticky, slightly sticky on one side. I just cut about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of that and used it like a stencil to get that texture that I've got on the zombie cookies. So they are super fun to paint. Go download the freebie off of the website. Grab a handful of gingerbreads or print them out onto watercolor paper, cardstock, and just have at it. It's so much fun. And let's face it, you hang that on your Christmas tree or put that out on your table, somebody's going to have to ask, right? So great little conversation starter. So have some fun with those zombie cookies and a little bit of drywall tape. Yes, I'm warped. Bonnie, I'm warped. Warped is a good thing. Well, maybe not necessarily a good thing, but yeah, it's definitely not a bad thing. So ordinarily, this would be done on a 6-inch oval. If you're looking for these, they are available on, if you're Canadian and you need them, you can get them from Deb Antonick's website at touchofprimsy.ca. I just think these are so super cute. This is a great little oval. It's got the 2 holes in that you can hang it up by. And they work up so quick and they're so fun to do. So I base coated this little, I had a little menu board. I just needed something roughly the same size. It's a little bit bigger, but you know, it's okay. And I painted it black and I painted the outside about 1/2 inch wide, just like on this. And I have a white border all the way around. That's going to be our candy on the outside of it. I'm going to use this line drawing to trace on some of the details, like the ho ho ho. We're going to put the ho 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 on there. And some of those leaves. I'll grab my pen. Freezing in Albany, New York, Ilka. So I'm just going to do these simple little leaves. I'm not going to overthink this and trace every single berry. I'm just going to draw my leaves on. These are a very quick, oops, I don't think I need that on there. This is a very quick project. They work up very, very fast. The nice part is you really don't have to overthink this. And it's a super easy one to customize. So if you don't like the ho ho ho, you can put in whatever you want, quite literally. Easy peasy, right? I'm going to put my lettering in. Renee pointed out that if I put this upside down, it would be QH, QH, QH. But I happen to think that this is pretty cute. Okay, and I missed an O, like doing everything backwards today. Alrighty, let me have a look, see what I've done. I missed a leaf here. Okay. So the idea being is that you're going to fill this space up with leaves. I'll use a pencil to put a few more in. Besides, neatness doesn't count. Perfection is to be avoided at all cost. The fun part about doing something like this is that you can customize to your heart's content. There we go. Look at that. Not difficult. So I've got a whole bunch of little leaves in there. It does say QHQH. Yes, it does. He was standing on the other side of the table and was looking at it backwards. So now, one of the things that I really loved about doing this particular project is that the lettering is super simple. And oh my goodness, I'm using just my favorite. I'm using my white Posca pen to do my lettering. Super simple, bit of a cheat, but you can do it with paint as well if you don't have a Posca pen. Just use a rigger and some warm white. The fun part about this is none of it has to be perfect. Like, it's just simple, easy peasy. That's one of the reasons I chose this font, is because it's a simple one. And these are meant to be fast and easy to do. Look at that. Ho, ho, ho. Happy Saturday, Phyllis. Mrs. Grinch shared her family, Norris City Old Timers recipes. What did I miss there? I must have missed something. So I'm going to dry this. And then we're going to base coat all of those little leaves. They do look like upside down cues. We're going to base all of those little leaves with a little bit of lush green and just one coat. They don't have to be perfect. It's just such a fun and very simple background. So I have a little bit of lush green. We'll keep our little Bob over here. Zombie Bob. Now I'm going to try to find my, there it is. I've got a tiny little round. That's what I'm going to use to base coat my leaves. So essentially they're just little diamonds, the leaves. They're nothing fancy. One coat of lush green per leaf is all that's needed. I've been having entirely too much fun. Just finishing up my members group project for January. My members group, they've been doing the ones with the gingerbread cookies, holiday sweets, Christmas sweets, whatever. I can't remember what I called it. So that was their project for December. They don't have a live class in December, just simply because of the way the days fell. And it's a bit much. Everybody's busy at the holidays. You know, we've got family visiting, we're doing all of these things. So adding a class to that, I think, would have been a bit much for everybody. So I thought, you know, something simple and something fun to do if you've got time to paint. But January, they've got some challenges coming up. And they've got a really special piece to paint, one I'm really excited about. So, and I have a great bunch of members. My members are amazing. They're incredibly supportive of each other. They paint with each other. They critique each other, which I think is fantastic. They've learned the very special art of critiquing without being critical, which there is a very big difference. Being critical is not necessarily being critiquing. when it comes to art is the ability to explain how somebody could improve something without hurting feelings, without destroying a person's confidence. And the gang that is with me this year are incredible, very supportive of each other, which is a really nice thing in this day and age, especially online, when people often feel that they can say whatever they want. They are protected by the being behind a keyboard. And it's nice to see people keeping other people's confidence and feelings in mind when they say things. So it's wonderful. I mean, so many of my members of my paid membership group have become tremendous friends, both to me and to each other, which is just fabulous. And that's not just in painting either. They're invested in each other in so many other ways too, which is really marvelous. Nelda Sanders, how are ya? Sue Braun has been making dipping chocolate pecan bites. Oh my God. Heidi Allison, oh my goodness, hi. There's Heidi. I know, I don't know what it is. We have this common thing, this love of art and painting. And so there we go. We've got leaves. Super easy. I created a pacing fan. Yeah, I have to agree. Deb, we are having poutine, and I have these fantastic farmers type hot dogs. They're amazing. And we're having, like I said, a Canadian specialty. We're having poutine. It's going to be so yummy. And it's a perfect day for it. It is yummy. Mary Davis, hello, sweetie. And D. Gats, hello, hun. I love when I do ornaments too. I love the holidays. I think that's the big thing for me. I am in love with the holidays. So I'm using Country Red for this next bed. And this is fast and easy. I'm going to be using a flat brush. This is the one I'm using. This is Interlock Bronze. Isn't that a pretty brush? Look how pretty that is. And Terry Zastro. Hi there. Nice to have you with us. So I'm going to use a little bit of Country Red on my brush. When I say that this is a fun and easy paint, it really is. And it's fairly loose. So I'm going to put a red stripe like that. About the width of the brush apart. Oops. And again, they don't have to be perfect. I'm giving it a little curve because it's my party and I can do what I want. There we go. And I know that this looks kind of wonky, but you'll see it really doesn't matter. It will. How am I going to handle the top of that? I'm not sure yet, but we'll get there. I'm trying to do this so it's about a brush width apart. So if the brush is a 1/2 inch, then it's going to be a 1/2 inch. Of course, the line drawing is there. If you're not comfortable doing it freehand, just use the line drawing. we go. Again, I'm kind of having to wing it a little bit because I didn't have another oval. Pretty bad when they sell so fast I didn't even get one to do today's class. But they are available from Deb Antonick. You can get them on her Touch of Primsy website. And Deb, if you are watching, pop your link up there. I'd appreciate it. Miss Deb has made some awesome surfaces for me. And in the process of making one of those, she had a piece that she had cut out and she sent it to me. I'm going to treat this like it's going to be 2 pieces. But it's going to go up and over. Probably not going to work. We'll see. We shall see if it works. Like I said, I'm having to wing this because I sold them all with and didn't think to keep a couple like for myself. You know, because clever bunny that I am. Okay. Okay. This might actually work. We'll see. Yes, and our birthday girl, Miss Deb. What is that? Someone have a stencil with the peppermint in different sizes. Yes. Miss Deb has my ovals and whatnot, so pop the link up, Deb, for Touch of Primsy. Please. My bestie, Miss Deb, had a birthday. And she didn't get her flowers, which disappoints me. So today is, hopefully they get her flowers. There's some really bad weather on the West Coast, so that could be what's delaying things. So I'm looking at my thing. I'm going to cheat a little. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my black Posca pen and I'm going to paint that there. It's a cheat, but you know, I'm kind of having to wing this one. So I sent Deb another order for ovals and whatnot because I'm completely out. So hopefully this works. And there's Jan Brasco Schaefer, the Ice Palace. Oh my goodness. Betty Newhouse. Hello, darling. And Sandy Tayo. Hi. Yes, I agree. I'm not cheating. I'm fixing. Yes, I am fixing. Like I said, I'm having to wing it. So I had not designed this thing for this type of surface. So we're going to go with that. So I'm going to set this one aside for a minute. And we've got a candy cane here. And I'm going to take that country red. The nice thing about the candy canes is that Miss Deb has engraved it so that you don't have to trace on anything on the candy cane. So it's right there. So all the lines are right there. She's such a clever bunny, our Deb. I can get my own way. She's the one that finds the little solutions. So there we are. We'll paint that. Now, I like to paint this so that it looks like a candy cane all the way around. So there we are. Oh, shaky hands today. Here we go. But these are the things that happen when Deb and I, her and I chat on the phone at least 3-4 times a week. Sometimes we just text back and forth at all hours of the day and night. So I had said this would be so cute using other surfaces, that oval. It would be so fun just to customize it with a whole bunch of different things. And then she said, oh, it'd be cute with a snowman. And then I said, oh, or a candy cane. And it just snowballs from there. So if you're wondering how we come up with some of this stuff, believe me, I don't always do it myself. I've got help. So Miss Deb usually is the one that's, leading me down that trail. But we have too much fun designing things together. Oh my gosh. Shaky hands today. I don't like shaky hands. That's how the creative process works. Yes, it does. There's Lady Di. Hi, honey. How are ya? Oh, today's Lucy's mama. Her birthday. Well, we'll send birthday wishes to the angels today. Oh, good grief. I dipped my brush in green paint, not red. That's what I get for not paying attention. Posca pen. I love my Posca pens. Okay, I can design a mess. Oh, I can guarantee you I can design one too. If nobody can make a mess like I can, just ask my husband. Usually in the kitchen. We have a rule, if I cook, he cleans. So if I'm cooking, then the kids clean. And they pretty much say that, the bigger the mess, the better the meal. So, yes. There's Karen. Hey, sweetie. My chicklet. There we go. We got a candy cane. Oh my goodness, you spent the day cooking goodies for us? The boys will be happy. The boys will be thrilled. Okay, so I'm going to dry this. La, 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 la. I am just obsessed with candy canes. Like, seriously obsessed with candy canes. So I had way too much fun doing these. So for those of you that are, haven't seen these, and you're wondering how come I'm doing this on a cutting board, this is what the ornament that we're supposed to be painting. This is what it looks like. The reason I'm painting it on this is because these sold out so fast that I didn't even get to keep one for today's live. So we are doing these cute little snowmen. I just love these. I just think that they're so stinking cute. And they make such a great little ornament. And I've done them with gingerbread as well. And I've done them with star cookies. And they just turn out so, so cute. So this is the snowman. And then the one with the candy cane, I just love this one. There's something about this one that just does it for me. So I glued that fun little snowflake to the candy cane. I think it just really sets this off quite nicely. So this is what we're getting to. So I've got my snowman. I've got my, see, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it like this. just on a menu board. The design is very basic. Do we have the snowman? Yes, we have the snowman and the candy canes. We have lots of those, but we ran out of the ovals. But look how cute. So this basic design can be done on almost anything and on any shape. So, that's what we're doing. I'm going to adapt. Adapt and overcome. That's pretty much it. So we've got candy cane. One of the fun things, we've got to get them up on the website here shortly. I did this. I did not see this. You can paint the little heart on, which I've done on a couple of them, but this one was actually a little dimensional heart, a little teeny tiny one that I had kicking around. I just think they're so stinking cute. So we're going to put that away. I'm going to grab my my 1-inch angled shader and my 1/2-inch angled shader. Give those a drink. And we're going to use a little bit of Bahama Blue. I love Bahama Blue. A little bit of Bahama Blue. And I need my juice on ya. Oh yes, I already have them ordered. We're going to have lots more in. I ordered a whole bunch. So we're going to take a little bit of Bahama Blue. And we're going to float the right side of our snowman like so with a little bit of Bahama Blue. Just like that. So this is all on the right side. Now I know that it is hard to see that under all of these lights, but it comes across, that float starts over here in the middle of the snowman and comes up to there, and then we do the same thing at the top of the head. And this gives the snowman that nice rounded over look. So I'm going to dry this. And then we're going to put a smaller shading on the other side. Yep. Oh, I'm looking at it on a smaller monitor, so to me it doesn't show up very well. So I'm going to put a smaller float on the other side, and it's going to come across as well. It's just a little narrower than the first one. And this is what gives our little snowman a bit more dimension. Here we go. Now the nice part about this little guy is that he's pretty straightforward. Like, I think he's fun. Now I keep a stash on my table. It's a little tin. And I keep a tin full of little odds and sods that we use on the website. So I always have, little snowflakes, because not unusual for me to just do something on a whim. So I need at least 3 or 4, probably, let's do 3. And I need a larger snowflake. See, that's what's fun about having these little, odds and sods on your painting table. So these are the little hearts that I was talking about. We're going to have these up on the website today sometime. And then we also have these little stars. How big is the oval? It's 6 inches. And then we have these little stars too. So, you could do a little star on this snowman if you wanted to, or a little heart. So I've always got like a little dish full of things like this, little gingerbreads, stars, candies, hearts, bigger cookies, smaller cookies. I mean, I always have a little tin full. Oddly enough, it's a Christmas tin. Just a little dish full of odds and sods that you can use to embellish things. Bits and bobs, odds and sods, yeah. Ooh, that's a great idea, Sue. Wouldn't it be cute? That'd be really cute. So we have this all based and we are ready to go. So I'm going to finish the candy cane first. And the color that I use to shade the candy cane is Prussian blue. And we're going to shade all of this with Prussian blue as well. So for this one, I'm going to use a 1/2 inch. No, I'm going to use a 3/8. I think 3/8 is smaller. Hi, Patsy. We've been having a heat wave. Good grief, 60 degrees. Yes, we do sell the tiny snowflakes. We have all kinds of them. We sell all different shapes and sizes. We do have a nice little kit that's got 6, so we've got 3 of these and 3 of those in it. So, yep, we have all kinds of snowflakes. So, little bit Joe Sonia in my brush and a little bit of Prussian blue. You're going to blend this out. We don't want this color full strength because it's very, very dark. Gail, we have them available on the website. So we're going to put a float of Prussian blue on the back side or the right side of the candy cane. I want to see a snowman holding a candy cane. We could do that. We could absolutely do that. Let's see. And then on that little short staff, we're going to put a float of it on the underside, like so. So that you have a nice little shading like that. And we're going to do the same thing to our candy cane on the outside of this board. Now the interesting thing is that we're going to be doing this all the way around. I'm not worrying too much about having this like an absolutely perfect float because of the way we're going to highlight this. The highlight on this one isn't on the left or right, it's right on the front. So we're going to put that first color on, and then we're going to float on the inside, right here, all the way around. So it's going to give the blue on each side, smaller on one side than the other, so that it leaves a slightly lighter area in the middle. Now, if it turns blue, that's okay, because it kind of does anyway. You're working in a very narrow space. But we will make it look light again shortly. So there is our shadow. So darkest at the outside edge on both sides. So yeah, it's going to look a little blue-ish at first. Super simple. Okay. So Yeah, it looks a little blue-ish. That's all right. So rinse out your brush. Hi, Bobby. Yes, everything seems to be going well here in the Moto clan. Wind chill here is 30 below. Oh my God, Anne. Ugh. That's chilly. Minus 30. Brr. Minus 25. Brr. We're chilly. I don't know what it is here today. I think we're like minus 10. It's not that bad. Let's see. I'm trying to see what the temperature is right now. It's minus 9. Feels like minus 11. So it's not that bad. But yes, I can imagine that's why you're painting. So I'm going to go over my float of Prussian blue with a float of heavily thinned asphaltum. And this is what kind of gives you that deeper tone of the blue. Deepens things without making things look really, really dark. There we go. So little float. The thing about this one is it actually looks a little bit sloppy until we get to the highlights. Then everything seems to sort itself out. It's like it has an extended ugly stage for a little bit. So there we go. I love it when it goes into the corner because it just makes everything look great. Here we go. Well, I'm sorry, Lucy. You Southerners just don't, we're Canadian. We're already acclimated to cold weather. And even though it's cold, and none of us really like to be cold, but, minus 30 is not that bad. I lived in Winnipeg for 10 years. Minus 30 is not that bad. Especially when, we've seen temperatures go to like minus 70, so... I just think that's, solved a problem. That's how I look at it. So there's the shading on our candy cane there. Just trying to toughen you up, Lucy. And we're going to take that asphaltum and we're going to do the same thing to our candy cane. Ta-da! There we go. A little bit. Look at that. So it's looking better already. Central Texas. So I'm going to dry this. Now I'm going to use a little bit of warm white. We have snow, and normally we don't at this time of year. It's, we do, but it doesn't usually stay. But it's been staying. And we've had like a fair amount of snow already. Okay, so we're going to put a highlight on our candy cane with a float of heavily thinned warm white, which means I've blended it out really well. I don't want to have a really harsh highlight. And so I'm going to come in about 1/4 of an inch from the edge, and I'm going to put a float of warm white all the way down like so. So that I have a nice float of warm white. See, it cuts right through the reds. And then I'm going to do the same thing, 1/4 of an inch from the edge, all the way down. Ta-da! Like that. So we have a highlight on our candy cane. We're going to do the same thing to this. Now the fun part about this is that, maybe I should get my brush in the red paint now. I have gifted today. Hands shaking, I'm a mess. Here we go. So I'm going to blend out that warm white. And I'm going to put a float again, 1/4 of an inch from the edge, the inside edge. And I'm going to come all the way down like so, right through the reds and the white. Right through the reds and the white. There we go, look at that. And this is going to give us a nice little highlight. It does a nice job of giving you a soft highlight. It's not too harsh. It's not a solid line. It's a bit muted. But remember what I said about, those blues. It all looks blue. Well, until you put this little highlight on, and then everything changes. Oops, there we go. And then around, there we go, look at that. I need a little more white, a little more glaze in my brush. There we are. So look at that. So we've got that little highlight going through. And this is where we're going to make this look really slick. I like the idea of my candy canes having that slick look, like they're wet. They need to look like they're wet or really shiny. So we're going to use a liner, and you can use warm white or you can use titanium white. That's entirely up to you, but it's going to be full strength. So I'm just thinning it a little so that it's a little glaze in it. And we're going to cut through the red just in from the edge of that first highlight. Cut right through the reds. Going to give you a nice bright highlight. Now you can dry brush that highlight on if you prefer. I like to float it. I just like the little extra definition, but you can dry brush it on if you feel find it easier to do. But look at this. I love this part. Look how fun that is. So that little bright highlight just makes it look a bit more polished and slick and shiny. And that's what I like about candy canes. They got to have that polished look. Look at that. So I love that part. So I'm going to dry that, and then we're going to do the same thing to the candy cane. I love how it makes our candy cane just look shiny and slick. Look at that. So on this candy cane, we want to make this one a little bit different from what's on this. So I'm going to use, you can use a little bit of lush green. I'm going to grab a little bit of new leaf. And we're going to put a little stroke of green on the white. And I want it darker on the inside and just a little lighter going across like that. So it just looks like a nice little candy cane. So that little bit of green just makes such a neat difference. So I'm going to set this aside and dry it. And then I'm going to grab one of my favorite things. I'm going to grab this. I love Galaxy varnish. Elizabeth? Oh my goodness, somebody had a good snowfall. Oh goodness, I got a mess going here. So I'm going to take my candy cane, and I've got a scruffy brush here I can use. I'm going to brush this with a little bit of Galaxy varnish. I just love the look of this. Now, the Galaxy varnish has a satin finish, and then it has all this fabulous glitter in it, which I love. Renee's not here, so I can use as much as I want without hearing him grumble. So I like the satin finish, and there's a reason for it for this snowflake, or for this candy cane. Snowflake, my brain. This is going to be sealed with a matte spray. And so it's going to have a very low sheen. And this is going to have a satin finish, so that when I put this on top of this, there is a difference in the two. So, and you can see it in this one. So this one has the matte spray. You can see that this is a bit more muted. But this one has that satin finish on it, so it has the reds and everything are a little bit brighter. So it gives you a little bit of contrast, and it helps that candy cane stand out a little bit. So I really love that Galaxy varnish because A, it has that nice satin finish, which really amps up the reds. And then it has that little bit of glitter in it. So it just adds a little bit of sparkle and sheen to everything. So look how pretty that is. And look at how much brighter the reds are, even though we started with the same red and all of the same colors, but the red in this one is just that much brighter. I love it. And then of course it's got glitter in it, so there's worse things. So look at that. So fun. And then once we put that sparkly snowflake on there, it's just going to be so pretty. So our snowflake, good gravy, bunny leaves. Our candy cane is done. So we're going to come back to this piece and grab our 3/8 angle. And we're going to start detailing those leaves. All those little holly leaves. Liz, I'm with you. There's not enough glitter. And yes, I love Galaxy varnish. I have the Starlight varnish, which has that very fine, delicate glitter in it. And I have the Galaxy varnish, which has all of the different sizes in it. I absolutely love it. And then when I really want to get carried away, I break out my other Galaxy glitters. Because, you know, got to have them all. Now, the shading color that I'm using for the holly is Black Forest Green. I'm a little obsessed with Black Forest Green of late. It's just, I think it's a festive thing. It just, for holly leaves and whatnot, it's just lovely. Now, these are very simple leaves. So I'm just going to put a tiny little float right at that bottom triangle of each leaf where it joins the stem. Doesn't have to be neat, doesn't have to be perfect. It's just going to make that leaf a little darker at one end, that's all. And this tone, that pretty tone, it's richer. It's got a little, almost like a little bit of phthalo in it. So it has this vibrancy. It's just a really rich, great green. And it's a tiny little float. You don't have to overthink this one. Just where the leaves join the stem. So eensy beensy. Neatness doesn't count for this at all. It's just a little change in value at the bottom. And these leaves are very simplistic. Yes, Pauline, Galaxy Varnish is a DuraClear varnish product. I love this stuff. It's called DuraClear Galaxy Varnish. It's a really high quality varnish. And it has this fabulous multiple size glitter in it. In fact, if you look close, some of them are even shaped like little snowflakes. It's a fantastic product. So it covers nicely, brushes out beautifully. It's a really good product. And you can get it at your local Michael's store. That's one of the nice things. You'll find it usually on the bottom shelf with the rest of the varnishes. And I desperately need to get a new bottle because mine is almost empty. If it isn't already, if I didn't just, because I had to literally hold it upside down to get any varnish out of it. And I'm almost out of warm white, heaven forbid. I just, down to my last 6 bottles. Good heavens. For me, that's almost out because I use it all the time. Glitter is always good. I totally agree. Glitter adds a little festive feel to things. Can you get it at hardware stores? You might. I know that some Home Depots carry DecoArt product, usually on their website. True Value hardware stores carry DecoArt products. I know that. So there we go. We've got our shading in. Send Renee for the Galaxy glitter. Yeah, that wouldn't impress him any. Your husband says you have more paint than Michael's. I do have more paint than Michael's. Husband doesn't have to tell me. So the highlight on these leaves is a little bit of thinned margarita. We're using just a teeny tiny amount because we're just doing a teeny tiny little highlight. We're not going whole hog here. So a little bit just to make them bright, just at the tips. Of course, it'd be helpful if I got a little more paint on there. There we go. So just a little at the tip of the leaves. So that little U-shape or V-shaped float is all you really need. Again, don't worry about getting them perfect because it doesn't matter. You'll see why shortly. You just need to lighten that point. That's all. So, as I said, don't overthink any of this because you really don't have to. Oh, yeah, I know. It is sad. So sad. But I have to tell you, DecoArt as a company was very blown away by the support that they received from everyone. They had so many marvelous phone calls and letters of support from everybody, so that they were absolutely thrilled. I think it was a nice surprise to find out how many people are still so supportive of them. It's a great company. I've been working with DecoArt for over 20 years now, and they've been incredibly supportive. Of me and of these lives. They've just been remarkable. They provide me with everything I could need to do this as far as paint and whatever. They're just phenomenal. Terrific company. I know I appreciate them, and I know you guys do too. So almost there, almost there. We get these little highlights done. I just think this is the fun part. Doing these simple little highlights. Look at how that holly leaf pops off of there now with just that little bit of a highlight. And we're not talking lots. We don't have a whole lot of color on there. Oops. I need a little more glaze. I had paint but no glaze. See how a little bit of highlight just makes these pop off of that black. So look at that. How fun. So now that I've got that little highlight on, I'm going to take my liner. Ta-da! I'm using, this is a 15-aught. Usually I use a 5. I have a 5-aught. I also have a 10-aught. I'm going to use the 5-aught because this one is. And I'm going to take a little of that margarita and thin it out. And then I'm going to add just a touch of warm white to it, just enough to make it a bit more opaque. Not necessarily lighter, but a bit more opaque. And we're going to paint all of the stems like so. Stems in the center vein. And I like to cross the stems. Well, I like to cross my stems like so. Those little stems don't have to be much. They just little lines. Look at this. Just a center vein so that it indicates these leaves are somehow connected. And it's super simple. You don't have to overthink this at all. And I like doing all of these first before we do the next part because this helps establish directionality, which way these stems are going to go. So we've got stems, and now we're going to outline each of the leaves. So I do that like this. Just short little lines. Just connect with the stem. That's all you need to do. The rest doesn't have to be on the leaf or it can go off the leaf. And it's super simple. I love the little lines. And like I said, don't overthink them. Easy peasy. I don't know if you can hear all of the thump, 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 thump over my head. I think it's either Maze playing with my husband or the cats chasing each other. I'm not sure which, but it sounds like there's a herd of horses up there. In case you're wondering, my studio is directly underneath the family room. You have 8. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 pantry cabinets in the studio that are full of paint surface, mostly paint. There's at least 3 that are just paint. And I have an entire line of decor paint. And the colors that I use the most often, I usually have 6 to 12 of at any given time. So for me to be out of Bahama Blue, I just used the last of my Bahama Blue. And I have 1 bottle of asphaltum left. 1. I won't make it through the week with that. So I have to order paint. I really need to order some paint. So I am just quickly outlining all of these leaves. with thinned margarita. And it's a sharp line. Even the puppy dogs had to wear boots and shoes today, huh? That's cold. We haven't hit the -30 thing yet here, but it's coming. I know it is. It comes about once a year and usually in February or late January. So there we go. There's our little holly leaves. I like the little points. See how that outline just makes the leaves look a little sharper? So now that we've got that holly done, I'm going to dry everything really well. I want to clean up some graphite lines that are showing up. Oh, my stars. So I'm going to grab my black eraser and I'm going to clean up all of the graphite lines that I have in here. Just because they bug me. I don't like graphite lines. I love these black erasers because they don't polish the background. They don't damage the paint. They just remove the graphite. And everything stays that nice dark. Look at that. Easy peasy. So simple. So I'm going to use, I've got a teeny tiny brush here. And I'm going to use my brush handle. If you have a stylus, by all means, you can use that. But I don't use a stylus. I probably have a dozen or so of them, but I don't use them. And I'm going to add 3 little dots to the little leaf clusters. Just like that. Single leaf gets 1. 3 if it's 2 leaves. They can be big, they can be small. However you want to do it is up to you. I missed a leaf. Just like that. I like the fact that these little leaves and berries, it just gives everything a really festive look. Like super simple. I love these little breadboards. They're great. So look at that. Little holly leaves. Now you can take your liner brush and a little bit of warm white. And you can give each berry a little highlight with a little dot of white. So like I said, just a little dot. Doesn't have to be fancy, doesn't have to be perfect. Just a little highlight on each berry with a tiny dot of warm white. Easy peasy. So when we got all of those graphite lines off, so those little leaves back there are just filler. They're just to leave, a little element, holiday element inside. And I just realized I forgot to outline this leaf. There we go. So, how festive. Super cute. And fast and easy. This is not a difficult piece to do. So we're going to set this one aside for a few minutes. And we're going to paint our snowman. Now, I've got I'm trying to decide, do I do a heart or do I do a little star? I think I'll do a little star. So we've got all of our snowflakes here for our thing. And then we've got our little snowman. And I'm missing something. Something muy importante. I've got these little spacers. Several hundred of them. We put a couple of them in the kits. In the sets, so that you have the spacers. But you can use anything. You can use, you don't even have to use a spacer. You can glue it right to the surface if you want to. So there's 100 ways you can do this. So we've got our little snowman here. He is already shaded with that Bahama blue, that little bit of Bahama blue. But we're going to take a little asphaltum, heavily thinned. We don't want this full strength. And we're going to deepen the shading on our snowman with a float of asphaltum. Right over top of that Bahama blue. Comme ça. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side, just a little narrower. Oh. Little narrower. There we go. Hello.
Are you just doing the snowman?
We're just finishing the snowman. We still have a little ways to go.
Okie-dokie.
So I'm just softening the edge. So now we've got a float of asphaltum everywhere. Carrie, I use Paint Rack too. It's an awesome, awesome app so that you know how much you've got of everything. So there we go. And I'm going to show you a little trick. I know I show you this one all the time, but I'm sorry, it just works. It just works. So I have a little shape maker. And I love this one. So I'm going to come about 1/4 of an inch in from the edge. And I'm using the 1/4 inch circle on this one. And I'm going to use a little bit of black, lamp black, and a stencil brush. And I'm going to put an eyeball on. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I love using this method because, well, for a couple of reasons. One, it's very fast and easy. And two, they're so cute. Now, I'm going to come not directly down the center, but just a little off to the left, just a little. And I'm going to do another one. Now, this is a snowman, so he's, you can do 4 on him easily. And then I'm going to come down to the next one. I'm leaving a little bit of a space. And then the next one. So I've got his buttons. You can use polka dot stencil. You can use almost anything. But I like using these shape makers because you get nice uniform circles. Now, I've got another stencil brush here. This one is a 3/8 inch. You can use 1/4 inch. And I'm going to dry those dots. When you run your gold pen around the ornaments, it goes on so quickly and no misses. Honestly, Kathy, mine misses from time to time too, and I just wait till it's dry and go back over it. But I think a lot of it depends on the pen. I've had some that work really well and others that don't work so well at all. So I think it mostly depends on the pen, and if I get missed spots, I just go back over it. Yes, Sherry, you're absolutely right. She who dies with the most paint and surfaces and brushes wins. I'm pretty sure I got Giselle beat as far as brushes go, or paint. Not so much on the surfaces, although I'm working at it. So now that we've got our eyeballs on, we're going to take that Bahama blue that we used for the shading, and we're going to put a float of that on the right side of each of those buttons and on each of those eyeballs. Just a little float of Bahama blue. Okay, I ran out of paint. Here we go. Little float just to the right. This is going to make those buttons and whatnot stand up. I have been working for a brush company for 20 years and a paint company for 20 years. I'm pretty sure I've got you all beat. So the next step, we're going to deepen that again with the same thing. We can use a little bit of Festive. This little guy is so cute. And like I said, we're going to either put a heart in his hands or... So I've got a little float of asphaltum, and we're going to go right over top of that Bahama blue. This is just going to give us the illusion that these things are casting a shadow. Here we go. Look at that. So cute. Now on his eyes, we're going to use eyes and buttons. We're going to put a highlight on, a little bit of warm white. Again, it's going to be heavily thinned, and we're going to put a float, but come in from the edge just a little. I want to see the black, a little thin line of black to the left of that highlight. This is going to make those buttons and eyeballs look more spherical. Yep, Karen knows exactly. Not to mention the shelves and bins and whatnot. So once you have all of those eyes in place, we're going to put a highlight. I'm using my liner on the upper left and right on the edge of that float. Upper left and right on the edge of that float. And there's your highlight. So fun. Yeah, I've got another teeny tiny. I'm going to get another stencil brush. So I'm going to use this is a 1/4 inch stencil brush. Little small one. I'm going to pick up a little bit of country red, just a teeny tiny amount. And I'm going to swirl it on my stencil brush until it's almost dry. Then I'm going to blot it on a piece of paper towel. And I'm going to put a rosy cheek right underneath the eye on both sides. Nice little rosy cheek underneath the eye on both sides, like so. like that. And then we need some orange. I'm going to use a little bit of canyon orange. I love canyon orange. And you can use a round, small round, or a small liner to do this, but we're just going to paint in a really simple carrot, and I'm going to place it with a dot right smack in the middle, and then I'm going to pull it across like so. Simple nose. You can make it short and stumpy or long and skinny. That's entirely up to you. And then we're going to dry this. Karen knows me too well. And then for the mouth, I'm just going to put a series of little dots like this. Like that for a mouth. And on the bottom of the carrot, we're going to put just a little line of asphaltum. Just like that. And on top, we're going to use a little highlight of warm white. Nice bright warm white, just for a little bit of snow on his nose. And then he's going to need some arms, so we're going to use a little bit of thinned asphaltum. And I'm going to add a little bit of black to it, just a little. And we're going to add a line like so with fingers. Like that. So he's got arms. I like them super simple. Snowmen are supposed to be simple. So we'll dry this. And now comes the fun part. So do we want a heart or do we want a star? I did a heart the first time. I think I'm just going to use this for a star. So I need a really obnoxious yellow. If I'm going to do a star, I'm going to make it an obnoxious one. So I'm going to use a little bit of saffron yellow. Oh, God, that's yellow. Just like that. A little saffron yellow. And then I'm going to use country red for the heart. I'll dry the star. And there's something about the heart. So there we are. We'll dry that. So I've got one of each. There we go. Now for that little star, we have a little bit of orange on the palette, so we'll use some of that. I'm just going to put a little orange on one side of the star. Just like that. You know, just a little float, nothing major. On the heart, I'm going to use my stencil brush and a little bit of warm white. Because details matter. I like the little details. So I'm going to just dry brush the edge of the heart with a little bit of warm white just to make it look frosty. There we go. And then, where are we going to put the heart? Do we want the heart in his hands? Like that? Do we want to put the heart in his hands? Right in the middle? Put the star. Oh my goodness, I can't make up my mind. Oh, I'm going to go with the heart because I love the heart. And so I'm putting the heart in his hands, Darlene? In the hands. Okay. There we go. Put it right smack in the middle because, like, how cute is he? Right? I'm going to use that star somewhere else because that's too cute. So we've got a heart on there. I'm going to dry that. And then I'm going to show you how we put... This is how I do the back. So if you prefer, you can just glue it directly to the surface. But I kind of like I'm going to put a little glue here, a little glue there, and some there. Why not? And then I like that little gap. There's something about that little gap. It just does wonderful things. So I glue these to the back of the surface, whether I'm using the candy cane or whether I'm using the snowman. I like to glue this to the back of the surface. So in this particular case, I'm going to glue it to the back of my candy cane. Now these are only about a 1/2 inch wide, and I have about 5 million of them. So I just like the dimension that this provides. It just makes everything, gives them a little extra something. Now, the candy canes, the other thing is that if you mount them this way where they've got at least 3, they're more stable and they don't tend to snap off as easily. So we're going to set those aside to dry, and then we're going to pay attention to our snowflakes. And I'm going to set my glue aside. Now I've got warm white. One of the things that I like to use is a stencil brush. I like using it to base coat things like this because it's just so much faster. And by tapping the paint on, I don't get those gobs of paint around the edges of my snowflakes. And I just find they paint up so much faster and they look so much better. And I'm just using a stencil brush. Easy peasy, right? Look at that. Now, you can add whatever you want to these snowflakes. I'm Elena. Oh, I know. This is the best glue. I absolutely love this stuff. It's Art Glitter's Designer Dries Clear adhesive. I love this. And if you're looking for it, go to www.twife.com. Kathy McAllister sells this. It is absolutely phenomenal glue. It sets really quick. It dries fast. I absolutely love it. Best of all, it dries crystal clear, so you get really nice finish with this stuff. So there we go. We've got nice white snowflakes. This part's fun and easy. To me, this is just the fun stuff. I get to do the fun stuff. So I've got a scruffy brush here someplace, and I'm going to use that to tap some of this Galaxy varnish onto my snowflakes. I love this stuff. And again, I like tapping it on as opposed to brushing it on, and then you don't end up with gobs everywhere. But it puts enough on. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. There we go. And then, of course, I have some think I have some. That's the other thing I'm almost out of is my glamour dust. I'm down to like the dregs. So I'm going to sprinkle the snowflakes while they're still wet with my glamour dust. And I love glamour dust. I think this is the best glitter ever. Just because I love how sparkly it is and how fine it is. It just gives you such a pretty shimmer. And it sticks really well to that glamour dust. And then I've got a piece of paper over here. Had I been thinking, I'd have, there, put my glamour dust there. I'll take the lid off. And I will shimmy it back in. There we go. Heaven forbid. Don't want to waste that. It's like gold. Glamour dust. Love it. I'm with you, Gail. I have my husband, God love him, built me a storage closet off of the studio. And so I've managed to confine my studio to the studio, but it's still like running out of room. So this is the fun part. I've got my little snowman here. And I'm going to take some Galaxy Varnish and I am going to cover him, just like I did the candy cane. I'm going to cover him with all of this, lots and lots of Galaxy Varnish. And I'll put a second coat on if I really want to. It's my party. I can do what I want. So look at that. Oh, love it. Love it. Oh, we throw them in. They're just scraps. We put them in when with the sets. So if you need them, we can put some up on the website. I know, keeps the horde growing. It's terrible. My problem is I don't sleep at night, so my brain goes. And if my brain goes, that's when things like this happen. So look at how cute he is with the glitter. He's so cute with all that sparklies on. So we have cute little snowman with all the sparklies. And if you're in Canada and are looking for these, they're on Deb's website at touchofprimsy.ca. So the only thing we have left is that we have to spatter this lightly, I say. So I'm going to thin out a little bit of warm white. I just kind of want this to look like snow, just a little. I don't want to, go whole hog, but I do like a little bit of splatter. It looks like snow. There we go. Look how easy. So once you've got those little gap things in there, you can decide where you're going to place these. So, and because I'm using 3 or 4, yes, they are, Deanna. So because you're using 3 or 4, then your little design is stable. It doesn't have an area where it's going to flop over. So you can pick and choose. So we've got our little candy cane here. Now we have to, a little dab of glue on our candy cane and glue our snowflake to the candy cane. And then we have to decide where we're putting our little snowflakes. So 1, 2, let's see, where's my snowflake? Okay, so this little guy goes over there. So I got one there. And I've got one down here. And right up there. There we go. Little dab of glue. So I've got the little snowman on there. Look how cute that is. Now, you could use this as a tree ornament. You could use it in the kitchen on a little L stand. I think it would be super cute. But the little snowman looks freaking adorable on there. And so does our little candy cane. Like, look at that. So you could do either or. But I love the little candy cane on there. But I'm thinking the snowman. Because I love my little snowman. So I'm going to put a little dab of glue on each of those little spacers, like so. Now, ordinarily, I would take this into the shed or into the garage and hit it with 1 or 2 light coats of decor spray just to seal it in. And then I would adhere my little snowman. And this is the nice part about using those spacers, is that he's nice and stable on there. So I press and hold him into place just until that glue sets. And how cute is that? Little snowman on there. That little bit of dimension to me just does wonders. That might be a bit much on there, but you could certainly do this on both sides and have a different one on either side. I think it would be super cute as well. But there we go. Look at how much fun they are. Vary it up, change it up, put it on different surfaces. On the ovals, a little square or a postage stamp would be super cute. There's so many surfaces that you can create just the cutest little ornaments with a really basic design element. And in this case, we're using the peppermint as our frame and as a detail on here. So it works exceptionally well. They're so fun. So fun. And let's see if we can get Renee to come down. And he's going to spin our wheel for us. So, if you're on the website, we've got tons of the little snowmen. I will have the little hearts and the little stars up on the website this afternoon. We'll also update the website for those ovals. And then while you're on there, don't forget to go and check out our little zombie cookie. Little zombie cookie. It'll be super fun. Okay.
All right. You ready to see this wheel?
Am I?
Are you?
I guess so. Holy crap. That wheel is full today.
Yes.
Yes. See, it's bad weather. Everybody stayed home to paint.
Yes.
Here's hope it snows again next week.
What are they doing next week?
I'm not sure what we're doing next week. It'll probably have a flower on it. We'll see. Is Renee feeling better? Yes and no. He did get some answers, which is a good thing. And
I'm dying just like everybody else.
Yeah, slowly. Yeah. No, he's actually feeling a little bit better. So, with treatment, he will be even better.
Just waiting for a phone call from another doctor.
Yeah, another specialist. I keep telling everybody, he needs a specialist.
I'm special.
Yeah, short bus hockey helmet special.
Yay!
Yay!
Water wings to drink soup.
Yup.
Are we ready?
Yes, we are. So again, we've got 3 giveaways this week. We have a great little kit for you. Plus, we've got some goodies from both Deckwart and Dynasty. In there, we have 3 of those to go away. Kay Reynolds, my name was drawn a few weeks ago. I have no chance today. Yeah. Hey, never counted out. Judy won last Saturday.
It's about time for Judy.
Spitting. Oh my goodness. I don't know who's more excited about that, her or me. Linda Stevens Johnson.
Yay.
Don't forget that if your name pops up on the wheel to hop over to the website and click on the little speech bubble in the lower right-hand corner of the screen and send us your shipping information. We can't send it to you if we don't know where you are.
Or who you are.
Or who you are. That's always helpful. Yes, Wanda, yours was as well.
Did all those get out?
No, not yet.
No prizes?
We were waiting for boxes. They just came in, so we got boxes.
All right, Linda Stevens Johnson.
Yep. That wheel gets bigger every week, it seems.
Doop, 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 doop.
Choop. Jane Schumann. Judy screamed at the screen when she won last week. Now everybody in her house panicked. She's only been watching like 5 years and she finally won.
Oh. Number 3.
Yes, Gail. You are on there. If you've been in the chat window, you're on there. And the third one goes to Elsie Strum.
Hey, haven't seen that name come up in a while.
No. That's awesome. Awesome sauce. That's great. That's fantastic. All right, guys. I will update the website this afternoon with all those little heart stars and for the ovals and the snowman and the variety of shapes that we have to go on them. And don't forget, we do have a Merry Christmas coupon code. It's all one word, no spaces. So if you're trying to get that code to work, it has to be all one word, no spaces. Merry Christmas is the coupon code. And that one is running through the holidays. So it gives you, like, I believe it's 25% off of everything on the website, including sale items. So take advantage of that. In the meantime, everybody have a great weekend. If it is storming in your area, be careful. And wear your grippy sneakers or your grippy shoes and boots outside because it's really slippery. So everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us today. Mwah! We love you. Stay safe.
Bet your dog.
Bet your dog.
I need this.
Yep. Don't forget to mute us.